And you thought you'd get away without me talking. No such luck. Well, that was showing the effectiveness and ease of use of the track saw rail MFT top parallel arm combo. The three work together really well. This acts as the gauge or fence or stop gizmo that parallels the rail. I could have a stop here of some description and make use of the squareness of the rail to the bench dogs. Could do. Except when you come to do narrow strips, let's say a strip like that, or the one I've just dropped behind me, the one like that, a stop isn't going to keep it, nor that bit, isn't going to keep it square. Nor will the bench dogs, because the bench dogs don't actually, are not spaced enough for that. You could say, oh, Dave, that's why you have a fence along there, which I've shown in the past, and I've got one tucked away. But no. When you're doing narrow, well, okay then, I'll play your silly game. What happened if I wanted a strip that wide? There ain't no bench dog setup or fence for this to rest against when it's only 10 or 12 mils wide. However, that does. It holds it along its full length. And I can, and okay, this would have to be across here, or you get it. I can run my saw along there and cut strips down like that, and it is parallel, and you could say therefore square, for the track saw to do the cuts necessary. So, and I've already done it just as an example in a trial run. You present up a piece like this, your saw rail comes down on top of it, you do your strip, you just move this along, and you get identical cut strips. No guessing, no nothing, and you're not having to worry about it tilting out a square because this is parallel to the rail and adjustable at the drop of a hat. It's not like it's some jig that you have had to clamp and get right. I know that and that is parallel, so I can adjust it with the fine thread of this this threaded rod here. I can adjust it in fractions of a millimeter increments just to dial it in. So yeah, and all I was doing was I was taking the roughly cut to dimension, very roughly, from a shelf right behind me. I was taking it off there, swinging around, plonking it down, as you saw in the videos, the bit with me not talking, push it up against here, and I slid it back against the bench dogs, just for secure reasoning, but mainly so that it's closer to me so I don't have to reach so far out. Now, right at the end of those three cuts, you saw that I just took the tube off, the suction, the dust collecting part, and sucked up some of the stuff that had been dropped in here before I started my cuts. And it was only the little bit that was out here that was shooting out the front of the saw that was being collected. It's effectively the bit that's the saw blade's in the thickness of the melamine, the cut itself, throwing the little bit of dust that was collecting out here. None was being thrown onto the actual piece I was cutting, which I was making a close observation of that. Does that help? Well, can't hurt. In fact, you can see where there's some dust being thrown up against the skirt, and it's obviously stopping it, or it's some of the stuff that I said is being thrown forward. But that skirt sits down, seals off against the surface being cut, and just aids in that use. So, yeah. What do you think? Magnets, skirt, glue, insert, magnet in the plate that goes in that whole area there, which clips in, magnet. Have a think. contact me when you've made one. Hey. Anyway, put this way, the whole story is we are a better team together than a team apart. Well, when you're apart, you're not a team, I suppose. Anyway, geez, I do go on. Like it, good. Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, I've now cut. Oh, what's wobbling? Me. That's working. Now, in the, let's see if I can. Oh, I didn't bring a torch out. Oh yes, I have. I've got a trouble lamp thingy here. Let's just go in here. Oh, struggle. I can't actually see. Oh, there might be quarter of a thimble. Oh, let's say a thimbleful of dust in the plastic bag, and I'm going to suggest there's a little bit more than that in there. So that's not doing a bad job at the moment with that really fine dust. That gives me some solace, because I'd made mention in another video that the vacuum, the suction, or the CFMs, or the pressure, doesn't seem to be as good as I would have thought. But I'm getting that good a performance on the track saw. Let's hope that it continues to do the job on the miter saw when I start using it in seriousness. So yeah, all in all, I'm probably 80-90% happy with where I'm at with this actually at the moment. Like that. Don't have to keep on stopping and emptying the poor old the bag of this it's a Bizzle domestic vacuum cleaner. Does a really fantastic job, but the container, the canister, fills up pretty darn quick. It could take more volume, but because of the dust, it just coats the filter and effectively blocks it off quite quickly. So it has to be, I have to stop, empty the container and bang out the poor old filter quite often because of that fine dust build-up. Now, it's being collected in there. Let's hope it bloody well stays in there and so it doesn't go through to that plastic bag. Yeah, 80-90%. I might even give it a 85-95% satisfaction rate at the moment. Okie dokie, that's it. Going to go inside and have a cuppa, and I will come back out and do some more. That job, cutting those panels, there'd be 12 there, didn't take long at all. You could see how easy it is. Whether I use the saw for square cuts, I don't know yet. I've set it up in a manner. This is the different orientations that's this type of MFT style of top can afford you. I can move that parallel arm down here, make the correct adjustments to it to actually cut the correct lengths of these panels. And if it does it in such a way that the accuracy is there, it should be, but just saying. And therefore I will be relying more on the bench dogs in that case, but still with the, what I just said before about the parallel arm, that job becomes a lot more attractive. Previously, I've actually cut some of those square cuts with the miter saw. Because they're a bit wider, you have to do them in 2 goes. If the accuracy is there, it shouldn't be a problem. All of these things. Also, oh God, this is just going to be a couple of minute video. Also, the squareness does, as I said, get the final squareness can come from the dimensioning router. Although, and I have installed the virtues of this cheap router lift, I did not, and I don't know whether it's to do. Yeah, it's to do with the router lift. The router isn't 100% square because I think it can flex in the way it is held. I think the holding approach is just a little bit flimsy, and you can't tighten up the little grub screws because it's going through a very thin piece of aluminium. So Although it hasn't done it, I'd hate to strip them out, because once that's if they strip, it's buggered. And there's no way I can discern how you would actually hold it. So would I buy that one again? Yes. Will I? Probably not. I'll probably spend a little bit more money and get one of those more robust router lifts. So in the past I said without question I'd buy another one of those. But I did note that slide out of squareness, and there's no way to adjust it other than those little grub screws and the way it clamps. So, yeah. Okay, that's it. Cup of time is calling me. Public holiday here tomorrow. We've got the King's birthday. Monday. So, yeah, that's one way to start the winter, isn't it? And it's my birthday too. Oh, I should start. I'm having the King's birthday off. Nah. Okay, that's it. I'll see you later now. Bye.